Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I am running point on this channel. We're heading up to Altadena for your November real estate update. Pretty expensive neighborhood on the east side, but kind of a hidden gem. If you're in that upper tier looking on the east side, it sits just north of Pasadena. Great schools, safe, great commercial areas, beautiful place to live if you can afford it. We're going to break down everything you need to know. We're going to get into current numbers, month over month, year over year. End of the video, I'm going to break down a few homes that have caught my eye as we try and find you some value in the neighborhood. Let's go. Altadena is one of my favorite neighborhoods on the east side. Tons of things to do there. Great place to raise a family. Some incredible hiking trails, everything you want to do. I was actually with a couple of buddies. We were playing basketball at the park, and they were talking about how Altadena was affordable, and I had to kind of break the news to them that that's not necessarily the case. It is the case if you compare it to Los Feliz, Pasadena, or La Cañada, but it's in that second tier with the Highland Parks and Silver Lakes of the world, where we're still getting pretty high average home prices, but there are some value out there. The current statistics, 33 homes available for sale on the market in Altadena. Currently, 8 of those homes have seen price drops, so 24% of the homes available. Just that's commonplace for every neighborhood in Los Angeles, probably in the country right now. Interest rates are still extremely high, flirting with 7.5%, 8%. Jerome Powell did pause rates last time out, and we got one more visit with him before the end of the year. We saw the biggest rate cut we've seen all year, but it still did not come much more south of 7.5 on the interest rate side. So most of these people who have been trying to sell their home for a long period of time, there's just not the buyer demand they would like. So they get forced into doing a lot of price cuts. So it's very commonplace for that to happen. Minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now, $799,000. We're going to talk about that home in the final segment in homes that have caught my eye. Our top end is 3.498. We actually got 2 homes available at that price. One we know about if you've been following along month after month. One that's brand new. We'll touch on both those homes in the final segment as well. Our average for sale price available on the market right now is 1.624, 627. All these numbers are very consistent. We track this every single month. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on Altadena or any other neighborhood on the east side, because we're breaking them all down. But these numbers are very consistent, and that paints us a strong picture to see, are the homes appreciating, are homes truly dropping, and we get real specific when it comes to the neighborhood in regards to that. The average days on market is 45. Got to keep our eye on that number. When it gets up to 60, you can anticipate the price drops to start to get into the 30 and 40%. Could happen. You know, the winter months are always slower in real estate in general, so I don't anticipate a very active winter session here in Los Angeles. So if that days on market start creeping up to 60, 70 days, those home sellers do not want to sit and wait to sell, and a lot of their perspective only ammunition that they may have to get their home off the market is to do a price drop. So we're keeping our eye on that number every single month to see where it kind of shifts off. If we take a peek into November of 2022, so what happened at this time last year, we had 25 homes sell at 103% clip, meaning on average those homes were selling 3% over that list price. So that gives us a perspective from a couple of businesses. That'll be more relevant when we look at current statistics of last month. So let's do that now. When projecting out in real estate, obviously long-term projections are very important. They paint a bigger picture. The more data you have in any scenario, the better solutions, the better results you're going to have. But if you're somebody who's looking currently, first of all, you need to be with an agent. If you're looking, there's no disadvantage of getting with a buyer's agent to get help in the market in doing so. But the most relevant information is going to be what happened last month, because it's going to tell you, there's going to be some glaring things there. It's going to tell you specifically how things are going. So when we look at last month in Altadena, we had 30 homes sell, which is very solid for Altadena, what we've been tracking over the past few months, and at 107% clip, meaning on average 7% above that list price. If you're trying to get a sense of what that number directly means, if you're a home buyer and that home's $1 million, on average in Altadena, these homes are selling 7% above that. So your offer if you want to get a home, especially a home that just hit the market, that's attractive, updated, in the best school district in the neighborhood, you're going to have to probably at least go 7% over that $1 million. So add another $70K onto your offer to put you in a better position to possibly get that accepted. If you're a home owner that in the Altadena area, that's one of the metrics you can kind of keep your eye on from a yearly perspective to know if you're getting appreciation on your home, right? There's a bunch of different things that obviously play into that, but that's one of the measures, because most people are going to go in, do a market analysis, list their price based off the sales around them, the surrounding neighborhoods, the surrounding neighborhood, and price their home accordingly. So when those homes sell over the list price, that is kind of giving you some insight that there are some positive outlooks in the neighborhood. People are, because essentially what it is, appreciation is what the market's willing to pay. Your home is worth nothing until someone makes you an offer and offers you a certain amount on that home. So that's one of the metrics you can kind of keep your eye on if you're a homeowner as well. The minimum price last month, we had a home sell for $650K. It sold $50K under the list price, complete project there, needed a remodel. You're not going to get a home that's listed for $700K in Altadena that's turnkey ready, meaning it's ready to move in right now, and then it sells $50K under list price. That's just not logical. Listed for $700K, needed a ton of work. So somebody who came in who didn't need to move in immediately, possibly some type of investor, and they got the home for $650, so $50K under the list price. The top end, we had a home sell for $3.368746, $21K on under the list price. The average sale price for the homes was $1.575,493. Our normal averages out in Altadena for the past months has been around 1.45. So we had about $100K above that this month. So it's a number to kind of keep our eye on. We had a high level sale at the 3.368, low number with 30. That'll bump it a little bit, but something to kind of track as we move into these winter months is, possibly Altadena is getting a little bit more expensive. And that's not a reality for a lot of neighborhoods on the east side. Well, if we track any of these neighborhoods, if we follow along with some of the other neighborhood updates that I do, essentially what it comes down to is the high-end $3 million, $4 million, $5 million houses just aren't selling because there's no buyers who can finance that home in this type of environment. So those sales have been taking a long time, and the sales that are going off the market quicker are those homes right around $1 million, 1.1, 1.2. So to see the average jump up over 100K is pretty odd, but we're going to keep our eye on it and see if that kind of pans out from a month-to-month basis. Average days on market from the sold, 23 days. That number is usually between 50 and 40. Nothing to worry about there. We take a peek into October of 2022. We had 32 homes sell, 103% clip, so 3% on average above that list price. So that is a 6% decline year over year, 32 to 30. We're not worried about that from any respect. So let's jump over to homes that have caught my eye. Let's wrap this up and see if there's some value out in the neighborhood, see how things are looking. So we're going to close things off with homes that have caught my eye. For anybody who's new here, this is what we do. We're going to break down the entry level. What's the floor look like to get into the neighborhood? Then we're going to do PK's top pick. That is going to be a value play. I let the numbers speak to me. I'm trying to find you a home that has strong potential to appreciate. If you're going to somebody who's going to go out and purchase a home in this environment and take on a mortgage, you need to find a home that has strong potential to appreciate, because it's going to save you a lot of headaches down the line. And then we're going to look at what the ceiling looks like. What's the top dog in the neighborhood? What does that mean for everything? Do a little perspective. One thing I will tell you is I'm not repetitive in these segments. So if I went over a home in last month's update, I'm going to give you a quick briefing on it, and then we're going to move on to a brand new home. So I'm not being repetitive for those who follow along. So we're going to start things off with entry level. I do want to mention the September real estate up entry level home was the 373 West Poppy Field. That home was pending when we talked about it last month. It is sold now. Just wanted to follow up on that. We have a lot of homes falling off when it comes to pending because of rates and escrow and things like that. But that home is off the market now. 373 West Poppy off the market. So the October, so last month's low dog was 3565 McNally. That was that 849K home. That one is also sold. We loved it. It was on 11,292 as a double lot. To get 11,000 square feet anywhere in Los Angeles is a great deal. We anticipated this one to sell. We anticipated to sell quick, and that it did. So our new low dog in the neighborhood in Altadena is 2790 Olive Avenue. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 728. So small starter house here for you and a partner, maybe just you yourself. $799K is the price point for this home. It's $1,097 per square foot. That's pretty high. You get a homes under $1 million, you typically want to see that number between 400 and 800. So 1,097 is pretty high. You're paying heavy for the bang for the buck. 5564 is the lot. Not too bad there. That's fine. Fixer house here. It's livable. You can move in and do renovations as you live there, but it needs some heavy TLC. I will say there was a home that was sold, a 2-1 1090, so about 300 square feet bigger. It sold for $925K, and it was fully updated, just one street over. So that's going to give you some insight. Not a ton of wiggle room on that, right? Because that home, like I said, pretty much the same dimensions, but they had 300 square feet, and it was fully updated, nicely updated. So that kind of gives you a strong understanding of like what the potential would look like once you do the full updates to this house, and you're only leaving yourself about 126K in room if you bought it right at the list price. So that's not a ton of money realistically to do all of the upgrades probably needed at this home. But if you can come in maybe a little bit below that, and it can be something where you move in, especially being a 2-1, maybe you just move in by yourself. You're okay with a couple of rooms not being up to date right from the jump, and you slowly take on projects year after year. In 8, 9 years, 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years from now, the home is obviously fully updated, looks great, and you'll be in a good position because Altadena has the potential to keep obviously growing, barring your entire economy collapsing, which obviously is always at threat of happening. But let's jump over to PK's top pick and let's find some real value in the neighborhood. I did want to close out September's 3873 Lilac Canyon. That was that $2.35 million home we looked at. They've had another $50K price drop. Absolutely one of the most beautiful homes in Altadena. I absolutely love it. We're not going to go back over that, but if you're interested in that one, you're in the $2.35 million range, go back to the September real estate update for Altadena. Look for PK's top pick near the end of the video and get some information on that home because it is a beautiful, beautiful home. One of the nicest homes, in my opinion, in Altadena. Last month, we went into 1951 Mar Vista. That was that $1.2 million home. It is pending. We knew this one was going to jump off the board. When we looked at the numbers, there was a huge green flag is what we should probably call it because the comps in the neighborhood right in that direct hood was 1.7, 1.5, even 1.25, and we came in at 1.2. So I'm going to let you guys know in next month's update for December, how it closes out, what the final tally at. But we knew that home was going to sell, and I'm sure it got some decent offers as well. But for this month, we're going to get into 525 Archwood Place. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,530 square feet. It's listed for $909, $999. So under $1 million in Altadena. Let's go. $594 per square foot. Love that number. Like I said, between 4 and 8, we are good. We're at $594. Give me some. 5849 is a solid lot size. You get homes under $1 million, you're probably typically looking at a 3,500 lot, maybe 4,000. We're closer to 6,000. Let's go. This is newly remodeled, so it is an up-to-date house. Each room has like its own thermostat. So this house is not only up to date, but they went the tech route as well. So you're getting a less than $1 million home. It's a 2-story home as well. Has a garage. It's on the southwest side of Altadena. From a comp perspective, there was a 3-2 1380 that sold for 1.93,300. So over $100,000 more than what you're going to purchase on this home. This home is at least worth $975, undoubtedly, probably over $1 million. This home is certainly going to appreciate. You can move in right now. You're not going to have to do any upgrades. It is beautiful. You got a decent lot size. Love everything about this home. Maybe my favorite home on the east side entirely. To get into Altadena for less than $1 million is an incredible deal. If you have been searching in Altadena or any of these, Upper East Side neighborhoods, and $1 million is kind of your mark, you got to take a look at this house. Reach out to me if you need some help. But let's finish things off with the top dog. Love the Archwood home. Is little housekeeping as well on the top dogs. 1661 Mendocina. It was our top dog in September, 3.98 million. It is still active. That was the one that has 170K in upgrades. And the days on market are pushing about 120. So about a half a year on this home right now as far as the listing goes. They're not really doing any price drops. They're not really doing any marketing. But the home's just kind of sitting, which is fine. You know, if they had a strong understanding of what's going on in the real estate industry, they know $3.5 million sales are just tough to come by right now. You just basically got to be a cash buyer in almost, you know, every instance. So maybe they were okay with sitting because they're not making any moves. They just put it on. This is what we want. We're going to sit until somebody makes us that offer. So October's top dog, we moved down a tier because we didn't want to be repetitive, was 628 Wapello Street. That was the 2.999 million. That one is also still active. That was the one that had the $1.36 million price drop. It's the one that looked like a hotel, monstrous home. We liked the home. The numbers weren't terrible on the home, but you know, when we talked about that home, if you remember right, it's the one that has that terrible carpet. It looks like, you know, a 1920s queen lived there and put in the purple and green carpets. And it had the outer panoramic deck that had like the jail cell, you know, viewpoint, like grades around it. So we thought, you know, they probably should have went in and done a couple of simple upgrades to the home prior to listing, you know, at $3 million, but they did not, and they're sitting tight right now. But check back in October, you know, the top listing, and you can, you know, take a look at that house. But that house is huge, and there is some value there. And if you do the upgrades over time, you know, maybe it works out. But the new top dog also coming in at 3.498 million, so matching the Mendocino house right now in the neighborhood is 2004 Glen Allen Lane, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4137 square feet. So for a 4-bedroom to have 4,100 square feet plus is pretty incredible. 845 per square foot. So good bang for your buck. When we get to these top end, these top tier, you're almost always going to see that number jump above 1,000, even 1,100. So I'm happy with 845. You're getting good bang for the buck as far as this house goes. 39,692 is the lot size. That is ginormous. I'm all about it. I'm about the land. I'm more about the land than the building. And this house has all the land you could possibly want out in Altadena. So you got a great opportunity there. Very modern home. The panoramic views of this place are absolutely incredible. I would take this house, you know, over the Mendocino one in all honesty. But beautiful home here. You know, I would not be surprised if it sits right. Going back to that same mentality, that $3.5 million home is probably going to need just a strict cash buyer. But it is a beautiful home, and we'll kind of keep our eye on it. And I'll keep you updated next month to see if that, the Mendocino or the Wapello, start to see if we get some action on the top end and some of these homes start dropping off. So we'll see. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, you know, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind. Yeah.